welcome back to my kitchen, or hello for the first time. How you doing? Hope you're alright. Everything's on fire, but I hope you're alright, because that's all that really matters. I've made 2 videos where I've made savoury food, and you want to see more of that, so I've been scouring my mind and the internet to see if I can find Scottish food. In my scouring journey, I have discovered a couple of things. One, I can't differentiate the difference between what I just eat and what I'm used to eating and what isn't Scottish or primarily Scottish. And 2, I don't think we have a ton of food that's definitely 100% Scottish, but again, point 1, point 2 kind of merged together into one big point. So I'm trying my best to find Scottish stuff, but today we're going to make a ham and lentil soup. That's probably not Scottish, might be Scottish. I know that it's traditionally everywhere in Scotland. You can't go to a cafe or a restaurant, whatever, without the soup being some sort of lentil or ham hock soup. So that's what we're going to make. Plus I've got all these vegetables in my house anyway, so my dad went to the butcher's near him and got me this humongous ham hock. So we're going to stick this on the boil because this has to go onto a boil for 2 hours. This one is quite big, so probably 2.5 hours, but we'll test it. But yeah, he went to the butcher's for me. He dropped this off at my door because there's a second wave of a worse kind of virus and we all can't leave the home. So he's dropped this off and we're going to put this in the boil and then we'll prep everything else. But really, all you really need is an array of vegetables and some red lentils. Any vegetables you want, really, honestly. The vegetables I'm using, I've got an onion, I've got some potatoes. I've got like 5 potatoes here, but only because they're quite small. I've got some celery, I've got some carrots, and I've got some parsley. Parsley is just for the wee fancy green bits that float about your soup. Parsley is one of those things that I put on things just to make them look fancy. I don't think parsley does anything. Just putting that out there, right? Just into the ethers for you all to shout at me. I don't think parsley does anything other than act as fancy green bits. So there's your fancy green bits, and then we've got 1 ham stock cube and 1 vegetable stock cube. And the reason I'm using 1 of each is because we're using ham, we're using vegetables. Put whatever stock you want in it. You put beef stock in, put chicken stock, put just all vegetable, all ham. Any stock you fancy, really, just put stock in. So what we'll do is we'll stop havering, we'll put this ham hock in, because this takes the longest, and then I'll talk you through what we're doing with the rest of it, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so my ham is now boiling. It's in a big pot, full of water, not seasoned because it's smoky ham, it'll be salty enough. Literally just cover it with boiling water, put a lid on, leave it there for 2 hours, put a timer on. Don't forget to put a timer on. Right, so your timer's on. So you don't have to do this just now, but what I will say is with this soup, it is very basic. It's not that exciting, but it does take a long ass time. So the ham will cook for 2 hours, and then once the ham comes off, and then you've actually separated all the meat from all the crap you don't need, all this stuff's going to go on for about 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours as well. So to save yourself some time, or save myself some time, what I do is I'll boil that ham hock there now, and then I'll organise all of my vegetables and stuff, put them in a bowl, leave them there, so that when the time comes, everything's already ready. Rather than me having to go away the now, do whatever I'm doing, come back, deal with the ham, then deal with the vegetables, and then put it back on again. Just do it all, just all your prep at the one time. That's what I would do anyway. The only downfall with that is that your vegetables might start to discolour because they're already cut and open and sitting out, but they're going in the soup, so who really cares? It's fine, everything's alright. So stick your lentils and your stock to the side now, because we don't need them. As I say, you can use any vegetables that you wish with this. Ideally, I would like to put some turnip in mine, but again, global pandemic, can't really leave the house. Because I'm pregnant, my immune system is like rock bottom, so I've got a higher risk of catching this virus, and with this new second wave of the virus being apparently worse than ever, it's not worth me leaving the house. That's the great thing about soup though, is you can literally just do what you want, just shove anything you want in, it's great. So I'm not going to bore you with like me being like cutting vegetables and stuff, and you know how to cut a vegetable. So I'm going to do all that now, stick it in this bowl, and then I might show you the bowl. This bowl is stained with red because I cook beans in this bowl. Sometimes microwave some chilli in this bowl. So yeah, don't judge me. Don't judge me for my bowls. Right, I'll see you shortly. I don't know why I'm standing like that like a T-Rex. I will see you shortly once all this is cut up and stuff. Show you my cut up vegetables so you can have a rough idea how to cut them, like to what size. And I guess after that I'll be back to show you the ham coming out of the water. It's not like it comes out of the water by itself like majestically like some sort of like mermaid or anything. I'll just take it out of the water and I'll show you what it looks like. It'll look gross, but it'll taste nice. That's my vegetables, right? My potatoes are bigger than like my carrots, mostly because I have a potato that cooks quite quickly. Can't remember what kind it is, but I know that I made mashed potatoes yesterday and it cooked very quickly. Celery I hate, so I've put in the tiny wee bits, and then obviously I've just chopped my onion because onion's in there for flavour, not texture. So yeah, this is my vegetable mix. With soup it is a little bit of common sense. For example, if you use turnip, then turnip is quite hard, it's a root vegetable, it takes a while to cook. So you would either cut them smaller or cut everything else a lot bigger to allow them to cook at the same time as everything else. I also changed bowl because I underestimated how much vegetables I was actually cutting. Now the potatoes, some of them are obviously smaller chunks than others because I didn't put it through a machine, I hand cut them. But what you'll find is you need some of those potatoes to, they'll boil it away to nothing and they'll create almost like a creaminess to your soup. So that's fine, don't worry about it. I'm just going to put cling film over this bowl now, and then I'm going to wait for my timer to go off for my ham hock. I'm going to clean this mess and I'll be back in like an hour and a half. As I say, soup's not that exciting. Before I go and rest for an hour and a half before this ham's ready, I don't usually do this, but I want to say a massive thank you just now in the middle of this video to all of my patrons, because they've all been so understanding recently. I've spoken to them all recently and asked if I can upload every 2 weeks rather than every week because I'm so exhausted all the time. Standing and filming and stuff like that and sitting editing for long periods of time is just, it's not great. And everyone was so understanding, like actually everyone. The guys I have over on Patreon are so kind, so caring, and I'm so lucky to have these. So thank you so much. Anyway, me and my vegetables here. We'll see you all in about an hour and a half. Goodbye. Hello, welcome back. So, not a lot's changed. I've not even tidied up. I've literally just left this stuff sitting here. The reason I've left that sitting there is because I'm going to put my ham onto just there, and then I'm going to let it cool off and stuff like that. So I didn't see a point in like cleaning the chopping board that just had vegetables on it when I'm just going to put ham on it, you know? So that's why that's still just chilling. So yeah, let's get a look at this ham, see what's happening. Be warned, it doesn't look great, but don't worry about it, it's alright. It'll become great. I've already warned you, right? It doesn't look great. So I don't know if you can see that or not, right? But I'm just going to use my tongs as carefully as I possibly can. Nope, I'm going to use my tongs and a big ass fucking knife because the tongs aren't gripping shit. Just drain your ham as much as you can. Don't want ham water everywhere. We need to keep this water because this water tastes like ham. So keep this, don't chuck this away. This is your ham. Again, pretty gross looking, but yeah. That's your ham. So as you can tell, this is absolutely roasting beyond all belief. So that is going to sit and it's going to calm down and cool down, and we'll get back to that. Next, what you want to be doing with yourself is you want to be sieving this water because, as I say, it tastes good. It's all the flavour of that ham in it. So we want to keep it, but we don't want to keep all the mad shit that came off the ham, because no one wants to eat that. And then you're left with some delicious ham water. Lovely. So we've got a pan, we've got some oil in our pan, and then we're just going to shove all of our veg into our pan. Basically put it on a low heat and like just soften your vegetables a wee bit. That's all we're really doing here. We're just softening vegetables. So we'll shimmy them about a wee bit until they stop sounding so angry. So I'm quite impatient and I can't now be bothered to wait on these onions softening any further. So I'm just going to go ahead and pretend my onions are softened, much like I wish you to soften your own onions if you follow this recipe. I'm going to plonk my lentils in. I've got 200 grams here of red lentils. I'm just going to mix them round all the veggies, and then I'm going to cover this. I'm going to use this as well with the ham water. The water we got from boiling ham. Use this ham water to cover your veggies and then put it on a wee simmer. So put the lid back on this and simmer this for about half an hour, I would say. And then in that time we are going to take all the meat off the ham hock. Here we've got a litre of water and I'm just going to put my stock cubes in and we'll let that sit and we'll create a wee stir later on. But aye, this is our stock, so we'll leave that to chill out just there. Firstly, excuse the noises behind me. Buddha and Bronson live here and they're having their dinner. We're in their house, so who are we to judge? Right, so we're going to use one bowl for all the crap we don't want and one bowl for all the meat we do want. Basically, you need to cut all this, like, skin off first. It's still too hot for me to physically touch with my hands. If it had cooled down a lot more, I'd be just ripping it apart with my hands. But it's too hot now. And basically all we're doing at this point is separating all the meat from all the crap you don't want. Kind of like if you like cooked like a full chicken, how you would just separate the chicken meat from the carcass. Same idea. That looks like a big bit of meat. As does that. Honk. Now we are going to go back in here and separate all the gristle from the big bits of meat. Just right now all I'm trying to do is just separate as much as I can from the obvious stuff that we don't need, like all the jelly fat and all that, you know. Also, my dogs have never tried ham hock before, so I'm very excited to see if they like a bit of ham. I'm sure they're going to love it. Right, we'll go with that just now. And we'll chuck all that away. As it stands, we have this big bowl of like bones and crud, and we have this bowl of meat. So at this point we're going to take our rings off because you don't want to get ham in amongst your rings and whatnot. I've washed my hands. My hands are clean and pristine. And yeah, this should now be cool enough to touch because it's been sitting in the bowl and whatnot. So all we're going to do is basically use our hands, because you can squeeze off bits of fat. I know that sounds gross, but like if you're holding the meat, you can physically like squeeze it. That is just all fat though. You can physically squeeze off the bits of fat. Now you might be thinking that was a pure waste of time and money. Ham hocks tend to be quite cheap and that's why you use them. And obviously the time you spend is to he's hoovering, cool. The time that you spend boiling it gives you that nice flavour. So obviously some bits of fat and stuff like that are fine to go in your soup. If you don't want hundreds and hundreds of fat, like for example, like this piece, so I can like just squeeze and then I can separate the actual ham from the crap. But anyway, I'm going to continue doing this and I will see you once I'm done. Right, so we're back. We've washed our hands. We've got most of the meat off. So this is all the meat that I got. Doesn't look like a lot, but it is quite a lot, to be honest. So now what I'm going to do is go back through it all and just tear it up into tiny wee bits. Because you don't want any big massive chunks in your soup. You want it to be fairly shredded, but I mean it's entirely up to you. See if you want to have big chunks in your soup, have big chunks in your soup, man. Make it like a hearty soup and have massive chunks, but it's up to you, honestly. Do what you want. It's just soup. I'm happy with that amount of shredding. So I'll take you back over to the soup, we'll see how that's doing, and I'll show you what we do for now. This is my soup as it stands. You can see my lentils are all boiled to a mush, and my vegetables are starting to soften a fair bit, so that's good. All looking happy days. So what we're going to do now is we've still got a lot of this ham water left. We're not going to use any more of that just now, and we're just going to use stock because the ham water is very strong and you don't want to use too much. So we're going to plonk our actual ham in the soup. After all of that prep for the ham, it just gets plonked straight in. And then we'll pour some of our stock in, leaving back some because we don't want our soup too watery. If you do like a watery soup, add lots more. If you don't, just leave some back. Marcus likes a stodge. He likes a soup like a wallpaper paste. I like a fairly thick soup. And we're going to put this on the boil, well, somewhere between like a high simmer. So, I mean, it should only really cook for another hour, maximum, but it really does depend on your vegetables. So we'll leave it to do its thing. We'll keep an eye on it. I'll come back in about half an hour, show you what it looks like then, and we'll go from there. Oh, okay. So I've seen half an hour. It's been more like 45 minutes, and this is what we're left with. It's pretty much almost done. I would say it is done, but you can cook it for longer and have the potatoes break down further and make it creamier and thicker. But you see, if I poke a potato, it's like super soft. As I say, you can continue cooking it until it's an absolute mush, or you can have it just now. It really depends, again, who you are and what you like. If you like to have a chunky vegetable soup, and you like to have a bit of bite, not bite to your vegetables, but you like your vegetables to keep their shape and a form of who they were, then take it off at this point. If you don't, and you'd rather have your vegetables boiled down into like nothing, so it's almost like one big continuous smoosh of soup, like a smoother soup almost, with just smaller chunks, then just keep boiling it. I haven't added in any more stock. I haven't added in any more of the ham water. It's literally just how we left it. So this soup's always better the next day, but we're going to have it tonight for our dinner. I'm going to butter some bread, and we're going to have this. Now I haven't salted this and I haven't put any pepper in, but I am going to go do that. I need to try some first, obviously, to make sure it needs salt in the first place, because it might not even need salt. I would add a wee bit of salt to that, and we're going to add some pepper. While you're finishing the soup up, just cut some more parsley, or don't cut it, use the jarred stuff, and we'll add that in. So give me a second, we'll get some more parsley on the go. Right, add in your fancy green bits for decoration. Give it a wee stirry booty. So that's me, I'm happy with that. As I say, continue to cook it if you want, take it off just now if you want, it's up to you. It depends on who you are as a soup connoisseur. But I'll see you in 2 seconds with a nice wee bowl of soup, and we'll see if Marcus likes it as well. So there you go, there's your dinner. And I buttered bread as well. And I have salted it and stuff like that, but you'll need to maybe try it like before you put more salt and stuff in.
Okay.
But is ham and lentil soup made by a ham hock a Scottish thing?
I have no idea.
Neither do I. I just assumed it was Scottish so that I could make Scottish things because people want me to.
That's really nice.
That is really nice.
It's hot.
It is hot. Look at me shocked by my own soup. Because the soups that I make are always super thick, they're almost like a stew. But I didn't use all of the stock.
I like them.
Yeah, that's
I like
good.
soups.
It's because that's how we like soup. But most people would have soup like a liquid. But I didn't use all my stock. So if you like a liquidy soup, put all that stock in and you're good to go. Is it healthy?
Who gives a shit?
I mean, I just boiled like hundreds of fat and stuff like that for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then put it in a soup. So I don't know.
I would imagine maybe. I wouldn't say that it's very unhealthy. I wouldn't say
No. I would say on paper the contents come across as healthy.
there's vegetables in it, so therefore
Yeah.
it's healthy.
Yeah. But
Vegetables and fat.
well, if you wanted to make a healthy version, just use ham stock and just put cubes of ham in, I guess. Don't boil the ham, but that's pointless. Don't do that, that's crap. Soup's always better the next day, innit?
Yes. It's the same for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like mince and lasagna and all that.
Aye, everything you make with beef stewy minced stuff, or like, it's always much better the next day. Lasagna's always better the next day.
Yep.
What is the deal with that?
I have no idea.
Is mince and tatty Scottish?
I imagine so.
Is it?
I mean, it sounds like it'd be a common thing to eat back in the day.
It's common thing to eat the new.
I know. But I think it was a common thing to eat everywhere, but we just held on to it.
If you're Scottish and you're watching this and you know that mince and tatties is a Scottish meal, or you know that it's not, comment below and tell me, because I read all the comments anyway, and if it is Scottish then I'll make it in my next video. You can see how to make mince and tatties. What a crap video that would be. Here, this is how you make dinner.
I don't know. A mince and tatties is like a really, really fucking basic thing as well.
Aye, it's what folk in Scotland have on like a day they can't bother making it. Just make mince and tatties.
Like, I could make it. That's how simple it is.
Could you?
No.
I was gonna say, if you could, what have you not been doing it for?
If I wanted to do it myself, I wouldn't have to get married.
That's hilarious. So what one is it? I wanted to get married so that I could get fed, or you make me too fat. Like, pick one, you can't have both.
I'm just saying you do it too much, that's all.
I feed you too much.
Yes.
I think it's fair to say that we like this soup because we've not been talking about it, we've just been eating it. Right, well thanks very much. You don't need to eat the rest of it here, but I just wanted to...
I'll take it away.
People like to see you eat, I don't know what it is. Like,
Mukbang.
well, a mukbang would be, we would just
If we had like
eat,
50 bowls of soup.
aye, like just eat straight out the pot and eat all it,
Yeah.
and it's already just sitting there. Right, bugger off.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I thought that was the end of the video.
No.
Oh, you just tell me to bugger off?
Yeah.
Fine, I'll take my soup.
You don't want that bit of bread?
Nah.
Did you give me the bit with the rounded crust? That's usually your favourite bit.
I know, I wasn't thinking.
Oh, right, okay, you want to be nice, you just want to hang. That's cool.
I mean, I was being nice.
No, okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. That is how I make lentil and ham soup, which I think might be Scottish. If it's not, this is a ham and lentil soup video, so that's what it is. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing because it really does mean a lot. Also, please comment below and let me know whether or not you want me to make more things, and especially if this is Scottish, because that'd be cool to know. And if you want to see mince and tatties, because if that's Scottish and you don't know what mince and tatties and stuff is, I'll make that if you want. It's very, very simple. As I mentioned earlier as well, I'm going to cut down the amount of videos that I upload, and I'm going to upload every 2 weeks until the baby is born, or until my body will allow. And then I'm going to not be filming because I'm going to be a mum. I'll do my best in the meantime to get as many videos out as possible. If you make this soup, please send me pictures of it. You can do that on Twitter or Instagram. I would love to see the soup that you make. Keep in mind, that we're all connoisseurs of our own soup. We all choose which size vegetable we use. We all choose which vegetable we want to use and what we want to put in our soup. So don't judge, just enjoy your soup. Anyway, I'm off. I'll speak to you later. Have a nice evening and bye. Cheerio. Right, Buddha, you want to try some ham? It was me checking on you. You want to try some ham? Yeah. Bronson, do you want to try a bit of ham? You like ham?
No, you can't eat too much.
No, because the pugs and it's too rich.
No.
Also, these tongs aren't being used for anything anymore, just in case people are like, hey, she's using the tongs.
I kind of want to hold the bone in front of them just to see what they do.
Yeah, wee bits of ham. No more, I don't think.
He's the bone.
Right, here, you take the bowl then.
No, just the big bone. Oh, you cheeky shit!
Oh my god!
Fucking head straight in the bowl.
He did?
When my back was turned. You cheeky bastard. Right. Oh, that's just big fucking bone. Look at his fucking face. What is that?
Poor Bronson. Go get a bit of the bone, son.
Oh my god, look at him. Calm down. Bronson, come on.
Oh my god.
Bronson's not sure. He's not sure. Oh no, he knows exactly what. Oh!
Oh!
Right,
Buddha, no.
Bronson, take a wee bit.
Oh, Buddha, contain yourself.
Buddha, calm the fuck down. You need to calm down.
Buddha, you need to contain yourself, son.
Right, Bronson gets some off. Right, you need to pull, son. Go on.
Look at Bronson try to
Be
delicately.
a big boy.
Buddha! My god.
Buddha, let Bronson get some. Right, go on, bite it and you need to pull. You need to be a big boy. Come on. Oh, son.
No. The wee lamb.
He doesn't know what to do, I think.
Show him a different side and try a different bit.
Yeah, go on.
He's wagging his wee tail.
You used to be wolves. Go on, be a wolf. Be a man. Go on, get a wee bit. Yeah, good boy. Right.
Is he going
It's meat on the bone. How do you not understand this? It's in your nature.
Oh.
Okay.
Look at Buddha if you like move aside, son. Actually,
Look,
that was
Buddha,
done.
show him how it's done. Fucking right, fucking right on it.
Oh.
Right, see what he's doing. Jesus Christ, Buddha.
It's like
Buddha. Right, now it's Bronson's turn. Right.
It's like the day we gave Buddha an apple.
Oh, but he doesn't know how to do it.
Oh.
Oh, he's in a huff.
Oh.
Right, you just give him a bit of the meatness on. Right, and Buddha, you don't. I can stick this back in here, can't I? You're done.
Ah, that's for the bin, aye. My poor Waynes.
Yeah, right. Bronson, you can have this wee bit. Fucking get the bastard out, fuck's sake.
Oh, look at you, look at Bronson's wee face.
Right, Bronson, you can get that. There you are, there's a good. Oh shit,
no.
You fucking. Right!
You stole it!
Move! You're a fucking bully! Buddha!
Buddha, you used to be the good dog.
I know! You fucking bully! Let him have a bit of meat!
Poor Bronson gets nothing.
Right, Bronson. There, that's the last bit. Can't get him anywhere.
No. Is that good? Was that nice?
What I'm going to do.
Was that nice? Oh.
Can I just put these straight in the sink,
Aye. Buddha, you alright?
I'm just going to put this straight in the outside bin because it'll have it there.
Yeah. Buddha, what's wrong? Did you enjoy that ham?
You've been a fucking greedy bastard, that's what's bloody wrong.
Did you enjoy that ham, son? Oh, Bronson's still trying to enjoy the ham. He doesn't really know how to do it. You alright? Oh, my babes. Oh, he's a good boy. Apart for you sometimes. You're sometimes nasty.